Here we go. Good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders, middle finger to the side seam, sinking your chest, tucking your butt, head straight up, chin slightly down, and then of course, thinking of something uplifting and positive, okay? Shift your weight to the left, up, golden cockerel. Last set. Kicking out. Last set. Holding our ball on a T stance. Okay, I'm going to mix them up, so listen carefully. We're going to do a parting of the wild horse's mane. Out on an L, move that ball, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, centralize your ball, out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball, out and to the side, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, contact, push only at the middle of your body, separate and roll back, spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball, out in an L, push your opponent away. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, pull down, pull back, look back. Turn, square contact, push out. Separate and roll back, and roll forward. Listen carefully, sit down, sit back, twist, parallel higher, we're gonna brush your knee. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, we're going to multitask on an L stance to brush our knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, we're going to part the wild horse's mane. Out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball. Out and to the side on an L, here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, hold your ball on a T stance. We're going to come out on the side and part the wild horse's mane. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, center, out on an L. Here it is. Flip that hand and join it. Sit back, sit down, pivot, we're in cloud hands. Pivot out, two things happen at 9 o'clock, flip, meet, close. Middle or cup, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen. Middle or cup, 9 o'clock only, flip the hands. Middle or cup, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen. Middle, 9 o'clock, two things happen. Middle, we want to transition, therefore only a flip of hands come up to be a golden cockerel. Down, center, and up. Down, center, and kick out. Holding our ball, we're going to grasp the bird's tail. First, ward off. Turn your hips and waist. Pull down the bird's tail. As you look back, sit back, turn, square, contact, push, roll back, roll forward, sit back, sit down, pivot, holding our ball, push your opponent away, but gently grasp the bird's tail, turn, push, roll back, roll forward, sit down, sit back, pivot, open pivot, hands follow the feet, tuck the right hand inside as you embrace the tiger, push out, drop your shoulders, make yourself small as you now close your form. Okay, so now we're going to do our marathon of 10 form, and then I want to leave some time at the end to introduce you to the 24 form. And I know that not too many, if any of you, are moving into the 24 or level 2, but I just want to expand your knowledge and build on what you've gained through the session. Okay? All right. First time, a lot of instruction. Here we go. Good Tai Chi posture. Grow a little taller through the spine. Commencing form. Open. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Rotate. Deep breath in. Shoulder level. Reverse exhale. Flex your knees. Repulsing of the monkey. Center. Right hand higher. Opens to the ceiling. Glancing as you bring it to the ear. Turning your neck. Meeting in the middle. Repulsing of the monkey. Center. Higher. Glance. Bring it to the area of your ear. Turn your head and neck. Repulse of the monkey. Parallel, higher on a T. We're going to multitask on an L stance. Turn the hips and waist. Brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Pivot. Parallel, higher on a T. Ear, heel, hand. Turn the hips and waist. Brush your knee. Sit back, sit down. Twist step. Hold your ball. Out and to the side. Part the wild horse's mane. Stretch. Sit back, sit down. Pivot. Ball and T. L and ball. Bow stance. Flip that forward hand, join it with the back. Now sit back, sit down. Pivot with a 12 o'clock. Pivot out with a 9 o'clock. Two things happen. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock only, flip the hands. Middle. 3 o'clock, close the feet, flip the hands. Middle. Flip the hands, open the feet. Middle. Only flip the hands as we transition out to get into a golden cockerel. And kicking out. Holding our ball to grasp the bird's tail. First, knowing there are two elements, first we ward off. Turn our hips and waist, reposition our hands and sit down, sit back, look back. Turn, square contact, push in the middle of your body. Roll back, spiral forward. Sit down, sit back, pivot, center with the ball and the T. Out and to the side, give me my space. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Look back, turn, square contact, push. Separate and roll back. And spiral forward. Closing form. Sit back, sit down, pivot, open pivot, copy with your hand, in pivot, copy with your hand, shift your weight to the left, right hand on the inside for better balance. As you come up, you rotate, so that now chest level, both palms are facing. Push out with your core, separate both hands, drop your shoulders, flex your knees, make yourself small as you now close your form. Okay. Round 2. Grow a little taller through your spine. Commencing form. Open, rotate, deep breath, reverse, center, repulsing of the monkey, higher, ear, meet in the center, slide forward, push forward, center, glance, open, ear, meet in the center, repulse of the monkey. T stance, parallel higher, multitask on an L stance to brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, parallel higher, look for your spirals as you now brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, center with your ball. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Here it is. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, center, L, bow stance. Flip that forward hand, join it with the back hand, cloud hand. Sit down, sit back, pivot at 12. Two things happen at 9 o'clock. 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Flip the hands, open the feet, middle or cup. Only flip the hands, middle or cup. 3 o'clock, flip the hands, join the feet, middle. 9 o'clock, flip the hands, open the feet, middle. 3 o'clock, only flip the hands, shift the weight to the left, up, golden cockerel. Down, shift weight up, golden cockerel. Down, center, and out. Down, center, and out. Holding our ball on a T stance, we're going to grasp the bird's tail, first warding off. Turn your hips and waist. Grasp the bird's tail, look back, sit back, turn contact, push, roll back, spiral forward. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball, out and to the side, ward off. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Turn, square contact, push, separate and roll back, and spiral forward, apparently closing. Sit back, sit down, pivot, open pivot, in pivot, off the ground, embrace the tiger, rotate on your wrists, stop at chest level, push out. How do you make yourself small and how do your hands go for the ride? Drop your shoulders, make yourself small by flexing, dropping elbows and wrists, heel up, off the ground, closing form. Okay, getting better and better. As you can tell, your hands are getting softer, you're gaining more confidence. Okay, keep it going. Commencing form. Open, rotate, deep breath, push down, center, pulsing of the monkey, meet in the center, higher, turn your neck, meet in the center, pulse of the monkey. T stance, parallel higher, make your spirals work for you as you multitask. Sit down, twist, T, out, L, bow stance. Sit down, sit back, pivot, ball and T. We're going to part the wild horse's mane on a good bow and arrow. Sit down, sit back, pivot, ball and T, out to the side. Here it is. Flip that hand and join it. Sit back, sit down, pivot, 12 o'clock, pivot out, 9 o'clock. Center, pivot, 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock, flip the hands open. Center. 9 o'clock, only flip. Middle. 3 o'clock, flip close. Middle. Flip open. Middle. Use your hips and waist to get to 3 o'clock. Center yourself and up. Golden cockerel. Cross hands and kick out. Holding our ball, we're going to grasp the bird's tail in 2 movements. Hands go for the ride. Are yours? Other side. Open pivot, in pivot, embrace the tiger. Push out. Closing form. Okay, is this round 4? Okay, I'm getting shorter with the instructions, internalizing all that you know, making it smooth. Make your movements work for you so that you have a lot of relaxation. Here we go. Commencing form. Pulsing of the monkey. Brush knee. Part the wild horse's mane. Loud hands. Golden cockerel. Kick out. Grasp the bird's tail. Apparently close. Embrace the tiger. Closing form. Okay, round 5. Grow a little taller. Begin.